where when Zelensky, whom I respect very much, the Ukrainian president, when he is repeating, we are defending European civilization, the civilized world, and so on and so on. This is a very ambiguous statement for me. On the one hand, yes, this is true. But I think that the line that separates civilization from barbarism is nonetheless ultimately a line within each country. Yes, defending Europe, but the highest notion of barbarian horror, Holocaust, Nazism, this was an event which happened in the middle of the most civilized Europe in Germany. So while I advocate, don't misunderstand me, full support, give them arms and so on to Ukraine, we should never forget that we are not just defending the fortress Europe. We also should be very careful what message are we giving to the third world countries. For example, I have friends who are absolutely not anti-Semitic in some Arab countries, and they told me, okay, now, big discovery, you discovered that Putin is a war criminal. But a couple of years ago, when, in order to save the Syrian regime of Assad, he was bombing Aleppo, the bombing was much more brutal. Why didn't you react more forcefully then? I think it would be a great mistake if Europe limits itself to this closed fortress mentality. Never forget, the battle that is going on now is also the battle for the billions of people in the third world. We should be very attentive to this, and don't please forget my true heroes. I'm in contact with them. I make statements for them. No, Russia is not only a barbarian country. There are thousands of people, many of my friends, who simply disappeared, who protest them. And as I said in a statement, those who protest against Putin openly in Russia today, they are not some abstract internationalists. They are the true patriots. They are defending what is worth defending in Russia. Our motto today should be, the most disgusting slogan that I can imagine is, my country, right or wrong. No, if you truly love your country, you must be able to be ashamed of your country when it's doing something wrong. Yeah. I think that Russian dissidents, Russian protests, not only among intellectuals, I hear from my friends in Ukraine horrible stories about ordinary Russian soldiers. They were not well-trained conscripts. They don't even have enough provisions, food. You have tragicomic scenes that Ukrainian people bring food to ordinary Russian soldiers. They don't get enough provisions. Russian soldiers don't know where they are and so on. So we have to bear in mind this complexity and always remember our struggle now is a universal struggle. Don't talk the language of defending European soul, spirit, truth against the Euro-Asian soul. If you talk like this in the terms of clash of civilizations, you are already speaking the language of Alexander Dugin, Putin's court philosopher, who precisely sees this as the conflict of two models, Western European liberal model and Russian model.
Do you think the Russian soldiers know what the mission is? Because we read yesterday about a prisoner of war who was taken, who said, we were told that we're fighting Nazis.
Of course they are told this, and we have to be here absolutely clear and open. Yes, there may be some marginal proto-Nazi, not really groups in Ukraine, but don't forget, in Russia they are also Putin's secret armies, I think this is the key to all of it. Putin's secret armies, as our listeners should know, the so-called very mysterious group Wagner, a private group of mercenaries, not part of the official army, but of course they are total, and they, and so on and so on. Also, when Russians claim they are fighting neo-Nazis there, just look at whom Putin refers to philosophically. Ivan Ilyin, a Russian philosopher, theologist who 100 years ago openly advocated Russian fascism as the only solution for Russia. Look whom is Putin supporting in the last decade or two. Precisely these half-directly fascist right-wing fringe parties. Alternative for Germany in Germany, Lega du Nord in Italy, Marine Le Pen in France, and so on and so on. That's the reality. And I especially want to appeal here to leftists. There are still, to my shock, some leftists who think that, United States are the big imperialist hegemonic power, so whatever Putin is, he resists the United States, there must be something good in him. No, just look at who Putin is. Putin clearly is a neo-fascist. I'm not saying we should now send bombers against Russia and risk world war, but one thing has to be made clear. This is already, now up to a point, a proxy war, but already a war between Europe and Russia. And we have to proceed strategically, being careful what we do, but at the same time with full awareness of what is going on. The crucial thing that happened and shocked me is how 3-4 days ago in an interview Putin said, remember, we have some military operations there in Ukraine, but Russia is still doing commerce, delivering oil and gas to the West. So this is Putin's vision of a new world order. You have yours here, where you can do all the bombings and so on. Otherwise, life should just go on as normal. This is Putin's peace. I called him, ironically, a hot peace as opposed to Cold War.
Yeah,
a new Cold War is almost a solution today.